Hello, hello. I like crocheters community. Selena Baca here, founder, host, lead educator with the American Crochet Association. And I am here live today because I am really excited to be working with the I Like Crochet community and our friends in KnitPicks to put together this amazing, awesome, fantastic, summer perfect Battenberg bag. So if you are watching live, come on over, say hey, say hello, tell me where you're viewing from. If you guys have any questions about this crochet along, go on ahead and post them. As long as I'm here live, I will get those answered, but I am going to be checking back on these live videos and answering any questions as I see them, okay? Now, this entire crochet along, you guys are going to be able to get email updates as soon as every single part of this crochet along is available. Just click on the link in the video description to sign up for emails as soon as every part is live. Like for example, part 1 was live today. I was so excited to wake up and get the email saying it is here, it is ready. So if you guys want the same, if you guys want an email notification every single time a new part of this is ready, just sign up. It's quick and easy. You guys are going to get more details on this, again, when you click on the link in the video description, okay? I already have this project posted on Ravelry. Actually, this listing is on Ravelry. And that way you guys can get even more details about this. So everything that I'm discussing here today, you guys will be able to find there and on the crochet along page. So all the details are laid out. It's all there for you guys. So today in part 1, I really just wanted to introduce this crochet along, tell you guys a little bit more about this bag, and also I just wanted to give everybody an opportunity to see what yarn they're going to use and just get you started on seeing what colors you can use too, because really color can really make this so much more personalized. It's a lot of fun to just kind of play around with colors. You guys can see here. All right, my arm is getting tired. I'm gonna put my bag on my shoulder now. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the Battenberg bag. Man, that's a fun name, right? My friends at I Like Crochet picked that name because it looks like a type of cake. So cool, right? I didn't plan that. They just, I put this together and they were like, that looks like a Battenberg cake. And I was like, let's do it. Fun times, right? Okay, so I put this bag pattern together because it uses granny squares. And I really wanted to put something together using just a very classic granny square to introduce people to granny squares if they've never worked them before. I've put together some video tutorials and resources that will help you along the way. So maybe you've tried granny squares in the past and you just did not get along with the granny squares. Or maybe you love granny squares, but you want to make something more than just a blanket or a granny square. That's the entire reason I put this together. It's a very classic granny square design. I've got a video tutorial and I've got a diagram that will show you every single stitch if you're kind of like a visual person like me. If you're like, I need words and I need a video and I need a diagram, we've got you. So as each part of this crochet along is going to be released, you're going to see all of that come together with this. So for all of those reasons, this is a fun project, but you can also learn a lot from it too. Now, with those videos, you guys will also see 2 different ways to join these granny squares together. Now, I used one very specific way to join these granny squares together in that I created every single one of these squares and then I crocheted them all together with a seam when I was done. So you're welcome to do that exactly as I have to create those really sturdy seams for this bag because it's a bag. I want to put stuff in it. I want my seams to hold together, right? But not that it's, really any less durable, just a preference. There is another way that you can work this in that every granny square that you create one start to finish every round, and then every granny square you create after that, it joins to the last granny square created. So it's a crochet together as you go. So anyway, we're going to have both of those join methods with a video that you guys can watch and choose whichever one you like. Maybe just to try something new. Maybe you've never joined granny squares or motifs together. So those are going to be a lot of fun just to kind of learn and try. Okay, materials prep. Let's talk about what kind of yarn I used and what kind of yarn you can use to put your bag together. Now, I am a huge fan of KnitPicks, and so I decided to use KnitPicks Dishie for this. I've got some right here. KnitPicks Dishie, shout out to KnitPicks, so amazing. They're an online yarn company. You can find them at knitpicks.com. You can also find them at We Crochet. Amazing yarns. So I love KnitPicks Dishie. It is a worsted weight cotton yarn. It is a weight 4 yarn. So that particular weight and that particular material is what I use this yarn. This is the yarn that I use. But sorry, I wanted to talk a little bit about substitutes, but I'll get to that in a minute, okay? So this is a weight 4 100% cotton yarn. Something that I really love and appreciate about KnitPicks in particular is the colors that they have. They have such a fantastic array of colors that if you want to just follow my example exactly, you're more than welcome to. Or if you want to choose your own favorite colors to go with your favorite outfit or whatever you want to do, KnitPicks has got some amazing colors in their Dishie line. So within the pattern instructions, I have given all the information about this particular yarn. And I have also given exactly how much yardage you need. So if you're like, well, Selena, you used A, B, C, D, E, you used 5 colors. Maybe I want to use more, maybe I want to use less. Just tell me how much yardage. You guys can get all that information in the crochet along, okay? I also have a link for you to check substitutes. I love using yarnsub.com for that because it sources together a lot of different yarn characteristics to give you a substitute based on those same characteristics. But I'm going to give you guys some tips here, okay? If you're going to be using maybe yarn from your stash, this is an amazing stash buster. Again, I used 5 colors. You can use however many colors you want. However, I will say that I think it's going to be, this is preference. Everyone has preference. My preference is to really get creative with the colors here. And the reason I say that is because it's going to give this so much dimension. However, if you guys want to check out some finished projects for this, just to get some inspiration, I've got a link to this Ravelry listing, and I had a ton of pattern testers working on this secretly behind the scenes, and they've posted all of their finished projects for this. So if you want to see this bag worked in a solid color, we've got an example. If you want to see it worked in so many other different color combinations, again, you'll get that inspiration whenever you find this on Ravelry. So if you are going to be using a substitute of some kind, let's talk about what a good substitute is. Now, first and foremost, this is a bag. Bags need to be durable. They need to hold up over time. I don't want a lot of stretch. I don't want a lot of give. I want my yarn to be really sturdy. And that way, if my yarn is sturdy, my stitches are going to be sturdy, my fabric is going to be sturdy. And that way, as I'm using this bag, as I'm putting things in it and hauling it around and throwing it, okay, don't throw your bag, but you know what I mean. When you're using it, when it's in use, you want that to really hold up over time. That's one of the main reasons I love cotton yarns like Dishie. It's because cotton is really going to be durable over time. So I suggest using something in the same fiber family. But I've got a trick for you guys. So whatever yarn you decide to use, if you're wondering what durable means, literally take the strand of yarn in your hand. I'm looking for a strand. Here's a strand. Literally take the strand of yarn in your hand and see if you can break it with your hands. Now, maybe you're super strong and you can just break all the yarn. Maybe, you know, kudos to you. But, but for us average people, this should be hard to do. Now, I'm not saying give it all you can and try to break it, but I'm just saying, how durable does that feel? How sturdy does that feel? You know, for example, this right here, this yarn that I'm holding in my hand, this is an acrylic. So that's pretty sturdy. So maybe I want to use an acrylic for this as long as it's sturdy, as long as it feels like it's going to hold up. If that strand is sturdy enough, to, you know, for it to not break under that kind of pressure, that means the stitches are going to be sturdy and the fabric's going to be sturdy. So that's my recommendation. Now, another recommendation in this is that whenever I make bags, again, I'm trying to get something that's really sturdy and durable. So what I like to do is go down in hook sizes because I don't want to give my yarn or my stitches or my fabric any slack. So if I can take out all that extra slack, then whenever I'm using the bag, it's going to hold its shape. There is nothing like crocheting something and you go to use it and it's like, wow, it just grew 5 feet. What? What the what? So to avoid that, again, go down in hook size. You want to create stitches and fabric that are very dense, that don't have a lot of give. And that way, when you start using it, there's not going to be a lot of give. Now, whenever we're making things like granny squares, we're using a tall stitch. So this double crochet stitch, it's tall. It has movement. It has body. So already by nature, this is a taller stitch. We have gap spaces in it. So there's already going to be a little bit of give in something like this. So we want to do all that we can to really minimize that give as much as possible. And that way we can still see this beautiful motif. We still have some shape and it's going to hold up over time. So there's some examples for you. Now, again, if you're not sure what colors you want to use, what order you want to use your colors in, again, check on the Ravelry listing for all of the finished projects because it can really help give you a little bit of inspiration. Something I like to do as well is just kind of map out the colors. So you can literally just draw squares in this shape, right? So here's my squares up here, and then I get these squares and these squares. You can literally just kind of draw the squares and think, all right, what if I want to do it in these colors? What if I want to do it in these colors? And just kind of do your own kind of coloring book to see what's going to look the best. What am I going for? I liked to use all these different colors and tie them together with this neutral. Because for me, I was like, I want a fun, punchy summer bag. And so I want to use these beautiful summery colors, and then I'm going to bring them together with this neutral color. So that's what I did. Now, another thing that I love about this bag is that I actually couldn't decide between some of my favorite colors. And at first I just wanted to go, all right, every square is going to be every color. And what I did was, and what I think would be a really good idea is maybe make a square first to decide like, how do I want these colors to go? You know, I mean, as you can see, I kind of played around a little bit. And then that really helped me decide these colors that I want to choose. Let me see what they look like in a granny square. And then let me see how I like that, because maybe it looks one way in my mind and then I see it in action and I'm like, I'm not sure about that. But if you have trouble deciding, like me, this bag is, it's two-faced, it's two-sided. So I put this color scheme on this side and then this color scheme on this side. And so I really love that some of the granny squares, they show through on both sides. So I wanted to make sure that the colors that show through on both sides, that they're going to match the other colors that I used. So that's another fun thing about this bag, is that you can really make it look like you have two completely different bags, but they're the same one. So that's kind of a fun little thing about this bag too. All right, guys, I have told you guys a lot about this bag. I see a lot of you are here. I see some questions are coming in. So let us see what you guys are saying. Nancy is here. Good morning, Nancy. Thank you so much for joining. Michelle is here from Indiana. Vicky is here from the UK. Thank you for joining. Carol is here from Kentucky. I've got Patsy here. Patsy loves the bag. I'm so glad. Thank you for joining. Tiffany is here and says, I wasn't able to sign up for emails for this crochet along. Just click on the link in the video description and you should be able to sign up, no problem. You can also find the Ravelry link and that will give you more details as well. So hopefully between the links that I've shared, you'll get all the information that you need. Let's see. All right, I've got a few of you guys saying that you had some technical difficulties. So hopefully we can get you guys some tech support soon. Okay, so just keep those comments coming and we will address those as we see them. All right. Janet is here. Hello, Janet. So good to see you. And Diane is here from Texas. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Thank you for being brave enough to come on over here and say hello. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, so the last thing that I wanted to share with you is that this bag, in terms of size, if you're wondering what the size is, it is listed in all of the crochet along details, but essentially each square measures, side to side. It measures about 5.5 inches. However, I've put this bag together diagonally. So diagonally, this square is going to measure longer than what it is just, on the flat sides. So from flat side to flat side, it measures about 5.5 inches, but diagonally to diagonally, it measures, I think, 7.5 inches. So it's significantly longer. So if you guys are wondering about size and how your squares are going to reflect size, essentially, if you follow the pattern and you're using the exact same yarn, it's probably going to come out to be exactly the same size as mine. Whew, that arm, this is a workout. That arm's getting tired. But if you are thinking about size and maybe you're using a different yarn or maybe your tension is slightly different, just know that diagonally, whatever your granny square measures, multiply that by 2, and that's going to be the length minus the handles. Multiply that by 2, and that's going to be the width. So even though it looks like there is a lot going on here, this is essentially 2 granny squares by 2 granny squares. And see, so the length right here is 2 granny squares. And then the width, we can see there's a half granny square, 1 granny square, half granny square. So it's going to be kind of a, in terms of, it being square, it's going to be the same width as it is length. So that's kind of a cool thing as well for you guys cool thing to know, right? So again, as you're making your granny square and you're wondering, man, I'm making all these granny squares, how big is this thing going to be? That's how you can kind of determine. And that way, as you're making these granny squares, if you're worried about your bag being too big or too small, I don't want you guys to make a lot of extra accommodations like, I want a giant bag and I'm looking at all these little squares and I'm just thinking it's not going to be big enough. That way you can see, okay, well, wait a minute. My squares are measuring X. What does that look like? And that way you don't have to really kind of go into this mode to where it's like, I need to make more granny squares and change this bag, or I need to make less granny squares and change this bag. Hopefully that gives you enough information and it helps you out with there. Okay, I see quite a few of you guys are saying that you signed up, but saying it didn't work. And so I'm wondering exactly what you might mean by that. Like, did you get an email this morning? Did you sign up and get an email? Hopefully. But if you signed up and you didn't get an email, first and foremost, check your spam folder. As a person who sends emails myself for work-related things, I will say that most times whenever you sign up for emails, sometimes those emails go directly to spam. And if there's something outside of that, I wonder, I don't know, I'm going to get with my friends at I Like Crochet, and I'm sure that they'll have some really good solutions for us, okay? I'm sure they will. So stay tight, and if you have any issue, you can comment here at the very least, and I promise you we'll get you guys sorted. All right, guys, so that is all I have for you guys today on part 1. Part 1 of this crochet along is just, here it is, guys. Here it is. Here's some tips. Here's some tricks. This is the yarn that I used. That's why I use this yarn. Shout out to KnitPicks and shout out to this Dishie yarn. Oh my gosh, it makes the most delicious bags. And I'm telling you guys, the colors in the Dishie line, fantastic. I mean, these were just the 5 that I narrowed down just to make my perfect summer bag. But there is such an array that I know that you'll be delighted and find some that you truly love. There's more to come. So really just right now, all we're doing right now is just deciding collectively that we're going to make this bag together, deciding what yarn we're going to use, and then just, maybe you're familiar with granny squares and you want to get started. Maybe you're not sure what colors you want or in what order. So really it's just mapping out those details. So the next time we get together, we're going to have a little bit more of the pattern. We're going to go over a little bit more of that together. And you can find all of those details and all of those parts and everything like that when you click on the link in the video description. It will keep you posted. It is fantastic. All right, let me see if there is anyone else here. Final shout outs to Jeannie from New York. Hello, Peggy from Michigan. Angie is here. So excited to do my first bag. Hi from New Mexico. Your first bag? Oh man, you guys have got to keep us posted. As a matter of fact, we've got a hashtag. Use that hashtag anytime you're posting anything about this crochet along. I love using hashtags on social media because it just categorizes all of those posts together. So you can literally just copy and paste that. And that way, if you guys are choosing yarn or sharing your yarn or sharing your progress or sharing your finished bag, if you attach that hashtag, especially here on social media, we're going to be able to see all of those posts together. So it's just a really easy way to keep everything categorized and to see what everybody's working on. So keep us posted, all right? Let's see. Alicia is here from Virginia. Kim Shaw is here. Hello, Kim Shaw. I know you. Kim Shaw says, love the bag. So good to see you here, Kim. All right, guys, if you are excited about this crochet along, do me a favor, tag a crochet friend in the comments. Maybe share this video in at least one place where you enjoy crochet if you think they're totally going to dig this too. And again, use that hashtag, questions, comments, feedback, progress, yarn, all of that. And keep those questions coming. As soon as I see them, I will get to them. I am really excited to be hosting this crochet along for all of our friends here at I Like Crochet on behalf of the American Crochet Association and with help and support from my friends at KnitPicks. So sign up, click on the links. Peace, love, crochet, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.